his family there. Man, it was a moving memorial to stand in front of.
With the turmoil of everything going on across the country, it's nice to know that at least we here in this area can take a deep breath and, okay, at least our area does not feel about the police like other areas of the country.
No, you're always going to have that minority of a population that feels very strongly against them.
But it's not a majority.
But, here, where it seems like in other places in the country, that hatred is becoming the majority of the population. At least you see that's what you see portrayed on the news.
Right.
I don't really feel like it's that to that extent here at all. I mean, we haven't had the civil unrest and some of the issues they've had other places.
No, and you and I are both against police brutality.
Oh yeah,
and
I promise you, I am.
So that should be where it's left. If we're all against police brutality,
nobody agrees with that.
But it's made to look like white people don't care
or encourage it.
I don't know, man. I just have a hard time with that one because I care. I think most of us do, but I guess we're not supposed to.
I don't know, man. Like I've been, when I worked in law enforcement, I've been around situations where you saw somebody that probably went over the line a little bit, and it's not like, and everybody's like, where if you're silent about it, then you're contributing to it. And it's a far deeper thought process than that. But nobody likes to be around that. Nobody wants to be around, be involved in that kind of situation. And if you do want to, and you set out to, then you're in the wrong line of work,
Right.
But sometimes, emotions get the best of people in weird situations like that, and maybe they step over the line a little bit. It happens. That's the other thing. People say, well, you can't tell me there's no racist cops. Well, just by the law of averages, there are, because there's racists in just general society. So yeah, I mean,
but not every cop.
But I don't think systemic racism is a very fair term to use to describe it at all.
All right, I want to play a game with you real quick.
I like games.
You ready? You ready for this? The subject is Colin Kaepernick. That's a good
Colin
roll.
Colin Kaepernick needs to learn that Twitter never forgets.
No. First off, you pissed a lot of people off when you did what you did, and it cost you your job. And just at the point to where people are saying, you know what, maybe what he did wasn't so bad, you shit your own bed again, Colin. He literally shit his own bed about what he said about July 4th being a racist holiday.
Mm-hmm. White supremacist holiday. Like, what? But what did Colin say 2 years ago on 4th of July? He tweeted it.
That's right.
Yeah, so 2 years ago.
Happy 4th of July, everybody. I hope everyone had a blessed day.
Yeah. So, why were you celebrating a white supremacist holiday, Colin?
Yes, that was 2011. So that was 9 years ago.
Oh, that was 2011?
Yeah. 9 years ago. Dumbass.
9 years can change a man.
Apparently so. I mean, I get it. You were born to black parents. You were an orphan. White people took you in. White people with money. And God bless your oppressed self, sir. That oppression just kills me. It kills.
It looks rough.
It would kill a regular man.
Make no bones about it.
Football player to be able to handle that. Idiot. We reject your celebration of white supremacy. Who's this we? Who's this we? Who's the we he's talking about?
Got a mouse in your pocket?
I'll tell you something though. Well, never mind. I will say the notion of it comes from old Frederick Douglass about how the relationship to 4th of July didn't get their freedom in 17th after man.
Okay, and I get that, but when were the slaves brought over in the first place?
Oh, I mean, initially, I suspect. I don't know. I'm not really sure, but I think it's always kind of had that kind of circumstance.
Because that's my question. Is it okay if July 4th came about that was when we decided we were going to bring slaves to the country? Okay,
See the problem is
the argument somewhat validated, but when one has nothing to do with the other,
Well, no, it does because
how?
well, because slavery happened, and people of color.
I'm still trying to figure out how slavery and independence from Britain has anything to do with each other.
Right. It's more or less on that denotation, I suspect, or where the thought process comes from saying something like that. I think it's interesting that he said it how he said it, or he didn't give any kind of other context than denouncing the holiday.
White supremacy. Yeah.
Strong language, but just a little history.
I'm way stronger than the
I think that phrase is being used way too much now. Because I really feel like white supremacy, I think, is being overused. I really feel like there's a difference between a person that's racist and a person that's a white supremacist. Totally. I think that's two completely different things.
Yeah,
two complete different things.
And it's like they're using them interchangeably, and I don't think that's how things are. I mean, it's like I said, on one of the previous episodes, like I've been around and spent time around people that are legitimate white supremacists.
Archie Bunker was not a white supremacist; he was a racist.
He was a racist.
Yeah.
Red
Fox.
George Jefferson.
They were racists.
Mm-hmm.
Blatantly so. And everybody laughed anyways.
Yeah. Yeah.
You had two shows on at the same time. A racist white guy and a racist black guy, each with their own show, and everybody laughed.
Had no problem with it. Talk about it at work.
Now,
and wouldn't you say time back then is better than times we're having right now?
Well, economy-wise, no. It was horrible.
Well, yeah, actually. That's true.
It was pretty shitty back then. But, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm lost when it comes to other people's way of thinking sometimes. Like, just how can you formulate that opinion? Where in that cerebral cortex did you come to that answer?
I find myself thinking, like, people that I disagree with sometimes, or I used to be common, I disagree with somebody, but from their point of view, if I listen to what they are saying and they can make a decent argument about it, I may still walk away from the conversation and not agree with them, but I could say, okay, I can see how they're ending up at that, at that conclusion.
Yeah.
Anymore, I can't. I'm just like, how do you end up at that conclusion? Like, and it doesn't make any sense to me.
The racist comment that we get every once in a while, because we do.
Yeah.
Nazi.
Yeah.
All used in the same context and connotation is something that we're not.
I mean,
I don't know. Let's say you're a guy and you accuse your wife of cheating on you.
Okay.
And you accuse your wife of cheating on you. Well, you and I both know that in the real world, if a guy's doing that, chances are the guy is probably guilty of being the cheater. Well, you keep calling me a racist, and you don't know me. Who's the racist? Who's the racist?
I don't get it. I don't get a lot of things right now, man. Everything's so confusing. I mean, just like the COVID thing, like you don't know what to believe about COVID.
No.
Every time you don't know what to think.
And here's one for you both. How can a fart get through a thick pair of underwear, a thick pair of jeans, traverse 30 feet across the room, inside the mask of another person that's sitting in that room, and up their nostril? If a fart can go through all that, no pun intended, shit, do you think this mask is going to save you from a virus? Really?
It's obvious that the virus exists. I fully believe there's a COVID-19 virus, but I don't I watched a video the other day, and this guy said, if it's as contagious and as deadly as they're trying to make us believe it is, why has it not completely wiped out the homeless population?
Right.
Because they're not saying, they don't live in sanitary conditions. They don't have hand sanitizer and surgical mask, and they don't have all that. So why hasn't it completely eliminated them?
Well, more than one doctor has said that basic mask filtering COVID, it would be like trying to filter water through a chain link fence.
Well, the boxes don't even say that they don't protect you from it. It says it right on the box in the hospital. Believe me, I pick them up every time I find one.
Right. Yeah, no, and you're exactly right. And you know why? Because then it limits that masks maker's liability.
Yeah,
for lawsuit if somebody does catch the COVID.
Well, and here's the other deal. Now you're starting to see like medical professionals, nurse practitioners, doctors. They're posting, like this one nurse practitioner posted that they send in 100 swabs that they only put normal saline on, and 61 of them came back as positive for COVID.
Yeah.
So what's going on, man?
I think it's interesting that how COVID affects people differently, right? Like it affects people in the different populations and in different ways ever, right? Whether it's age range or whatever, and so it's hard to say. I mean, I've learned some stuff about just trying to stay informed on what people in medicine, doctors, and all that stuff are saying. But it's hard to say because it affects people so vastly differently. Some people have real minor symptoms of it and don't really go and have like a fever or don't. Some people have extreme.
And then like little kids that get it, and it doesn't happen very often, but when a little kid gets it, they end up getting blood disorders and stuff.
Yeah, it turns out they found that vascular is a recent finding with it. It's no longer just a lung disease. It's actually vascular.
I mean, we obviously knew we were going to see a spike, and I think it did spike. It's spiking pretty good. I mean, you had the demonstrations, you had the rally, like you had all that, and here we go, and now they're like, oh, we're setting records every day. Well, yeah, I'm sure we are.
Well, we also have access to more tests than what we did before.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right. And if you're talking about almost 70% of the tests that were just in saline
came back positive. Yeah.
What's a real positive? And then let's go to the COVID death thing. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this, people out there? You know what? Go ahead and put on your shocked eyebrows, the set of eyebrows that make you look like you're shocked when you hear this, just so it will be a shock. COVID deaths. If you're considered a COVID death, you will have had COVID or tested positive for COVID, and you're considered a COVID death, correct? Even though, let's say you're a truck driver out on the road, driving your route,
COVID.
You crash, you're dead from the crash, but you do test positive for COVID-19, you're a COVID death.
Yeah. They do that. People that were in hospice care, so they're dying.
Right.
They caught COVID. That was chalked up as a COVID death, even though they were already in hospice.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
My only thing is, and I'm just looking at this from the world lens or whatever, but from what we're seeing right now, a lot of countries have curved it, and they're not seeing their infection rates are just pretty minute, and getting on. The old different website, Reddit or whatever, and getting people's perspectives from across the world that are just like, yeah, we're back to normal.
If our COVID positives are going up,
yeah,
why is it that our hospital stays continue to go down and down and down?
Well, they're spiking right now. I think there's not a ton of ICU beds available right now in Oklahoma.
I actually know that they opened up the overflow facility.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, it's getting pretty rough again, and it's
that under pretty good authority.
yeah, you do.
But it's one of those things that we never had a plan with it. We never there was no leadership in how it how to have curved it in a way that would have been a lot less disastrous.
I completely
than it has
agree.
been.
I also completely agree that everybody